I grew up in a small village near the city of Ghent in Belgium, and I liked reading books, playing chess, and avoided anything that had to do with sports. My brother, on the other hand, was more of the sporty type. When I was playing with Lego, he started playing football. When I started moving classes, he started switching clubs. When I won the first chess tournament in my village, he became Player of the Year in Germany. When I was still figuring out what to do with my life, he joined Belgium's national football team. When I moved to Brussels to study, he moved to Manchester City to play football. Moving to Brussels made me broke. Moving to Manchester made him the most expensive transfer in Belgian football history. Last year, I won 2 pub quizzes. My brother won the Premier League in the UK and placed 3rd in the World Cup. My brother is now described as one of the best football players in the world. My name is Kamiel De Bruyne, and I am the brother of Kevin De Bruyne. In the beginning, it was hard for me to accept that Kevin would always be the more wealthy and more successful brother. I cried myself to sleep when he moved to Manchester. I missed counting the few coins we had in our shared piggy bank until one day I found a solution to turn this unfortunate situation into a business opportunity. I created a website called brotherofkevindebruyne.com in which I know, right? I started selling myself as a public speaker and life coach. I was doing interviews. I even needed to hire a manager to do my PR. I was living the life thanks to my famous brother. Acting as a brother of Kevin De Bruyne finally gave me the self-esteem I've always lacked. So I started playing a new sport, a sport called mind games, in which you put on a headband with sensors in it that measures your brain activity and you mentally make a light go forward. I dedicated all my spare time to it, and in 2016, I was chosen to represent my team at the National Championship of Mind Games. No? No, okay. I didn't win, so it's okay. But Els, a lady from my team, she won and she placed 1st and went to the World Cup later on. A month after this championship, I had to quit the sport because my income as brother of Kevin De Bruyne started decreasing and I needed to find other ways to earn a living. So that's why I decided to become a city guide in the city of Brussels. Brussels is one of the most interesting cities in the world. Did you know that the Brussels Town Hall used to be made entirely out of chocolate? That was the case until 1666. Because in 1666, the City of London decided to organize a nice little festival called the Great Fire of London. They put the city into flames, burned it completely down, and global warming really kicked off at the time. So the Earth's temperature increased with a couple of degrees and the Brussels Town Hall started melting. It flooded the complete square in boiling hot chocolate. 45 people drowned in it. To commemorate this horrible disaster, merchants started selling tiny replicas of the coffins the victims were buried in, often with their initials engraved in them. They still sell them today. They are called pralines, and they are delicious. I know it's a hard story to believe, but it is a true story. There are no alternative facts. This is not fake news. Except that maybe this is fake news. Maybe I've been lying to you. Okay, I have to admit something. Every single thing I've told you so far has been a lie. So I was lying to you when I said the Brussels Town Hall was made out of chocolate, and I was lying to you when I said I attended the National Championship of Mind Games, because there is no National Championship of Mind Games. There is no such thing as mind games. It's a sport I've invented. And to come totally clear, my name really is De Bruyne, but I am in fact not at all related to Kevin. But last year, that's exactly what I wanted people to believe. It started out as a joke. Whenever I would go abroad or had to spell my name in a hotel, people would ask, "Are you related to Kevin De Bruyne?" And I would, of course, always deny being related. Until I was telling about these experiences to a colleague of mine, and he said, "Why don't you try saying you are related and see what comes out of it? People might go crazy, offer you free upgrades, even worship you." The free upgrades part of it interested me. So we decided to pitch the idea to a television talk show, and from that moment on, I would go through life as the brother of Kevin De Bruyne. And on my side, my colleague as the manager of the brother of Kevin De Bruyne. And we would go on the show and report on it every week. But there's one more thing I have to admit. I don't know anything about football. I don't like it, I don't care about it. I think it's the most overrated topic in the world, but there I was. Thanks. First things first, we needed to make the story more believable, so we photoshopped some pictures of me and Kevin to make it more believable. We created the site brotherofkevindebruyne.com. We created fake business cards and 1,000 of these fake signature cards, which I handed out to fans. We even created a couple of fake fan sites in order to have enough references to fool Wikipedia and Google into thinking that I really was the brother of Kevin De Bruyne. So we took a plane to Manchester, checked into the hotel, got a free upgrade, and a couple of hours later, this happened. I was to appear for an hour-long interview, live on the radio, talking to a big fan about a brother that wasn't mine. I think the host until this day still doesn't know it, so Dave, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry about that. But we got away with it. So we were on a roll, and later that day, we went to the Manchester City fan shop with just one mission. Can we get some free shirts? Because Kevin had told us so.
Hi, yeah, I'm here with Kevin De Bruyne's brother, and we're here to pick up these 5 Kevin De Bruyne shirts.
Someone sent over an email, you know, already?
No, Kevin said we could jump in. Yeah.
That's fine. Small, two medium.
Yeah, perfect.
As an extra large.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, thanks. Bye.
We got away with it. We got 5 shirts for free, so we were definitely on a roll. Later that night, we found out that the club held a secret party at a secret location because Manchester City had won the Premier League in the UK, which apparently is kind of a big deal, I don't know. We found out where the location was, went over there, told the security guards I was the brother of Kevin De Bruyne, and they let us in. There we were, dancing between some of the highest paid sportsmen at one of the most exclusive parties in the world. Sometimes it amazes me how easy people believe things. But then again, I think, why wouldn't they? Our brain is wired to waste the least possible amount of energy. That's why it takes shortcuts. And that's what I like to take advantage of. To tell you the truth, I like not telling the truth. So I was lying to you when I said I was the brother of Kevin De Bruyne, and I was lying to you when I said the Brussels Town Hall used to be made entirely out of chocolate, but I wasn't lying to you when I said I was a tour guide. I really am. I even have the umbrella. Look at me. 2 years ago, I started Ceci n'est pas Bruxelles, extraordinary walking tours with a rather shitty guide. The concept is simple. You book a tour with me, and I take you on a 2-hour walking tour through the city, and everything I tell you is utter bullshit. Completely fabricated nonsense. You will get no accurate information whatsoever, but we'll eat a waffle, drink some beer, have a lot of fun. Some people know in advance it's fake, others find out after a couple of minutes. Why do I do this? Because I like it. I like telling stories to people and make people believe in things that don't exist. Go on. I like it so much that I think I might have based my career on it. And this picture of me smiling awkwardly at the Belgian National Championship of Mind Games has everything to do with it. Because it's fake. It's completely staged. There was no National Championship of Mind Games. Everyone knew what was happening. Everyone except for the lady holding the trophy. She believed otherwise. Why? Because she unwittingly starred in one of the most elaborate hidden camera game shows ever produced. A hidden camera game show I've invented when I was 21 years old. When I was 18, I went to film school, and in my 3rd year, we had to pitch 3 new TV show ideas to our teacher. And a couple of nights before the deadline, I decided to rewatch the 1998 classic movie, The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey as Truman Burbank, a man who doesn't know he has been filmed secretly since his birth for an elaborate television show. And I thought, I want to do this. And I thought, you can't do this. But then I thought, again, fuck it, I need to do this. So I pitched the idea to my teacher, and he said, you can't do this. But if you can do this, this will be the bomb. He really said, the bomb. So I started working on the idea. Of course, ethically, you can't start secretly record someone since his birth, but what if you do it later on in his life, and only for 30 days, and you get the help of his friends and family? So the goal was to have them not notice this huge conspiracy that's going on around them, and over the course of 30 days, we would put them into bizarre and carefully staged events. And then after a month, we would get them to a TV studio, reveal it all as part of a big surprise, a game show in which they had to answer questions about everything that has happened to them over the course of the past 30 days. And if they answered enough questions correctly, they could win dream prizes. So I didn't lack ambition as a student, but I did lack a budget to create a show like this. So I started saving some money, I set up a crowdfunding campaign, and a year later, as a student, with the help of some other students, I created the very first pilot episode of this show. Then I went to the biggest broadcaster in Belgium to pitch the show, and they said, you can't do this. I said, I have done this, yeah, but we can't do this. It's too expensive, it's too risky. I thought, that was it. Turns out that wasn't it. For over a year, I pitched the show to the broadcaster over and over again, until one day, I got a phone call of them saying, we want to do this. I thought, you couldn't do this. Yeah, but you did as a student, why wouldn't we be able to do this? Anyway, we started working on the show together with a wonderful team. For months, we were hiding in the back of trunks with cameras. We were hoping no one would find our microphones, and we were putting unsuspecting people into the most bizarre events in their lives. And after 30 days, we needed to get them to a TV studio. But of course, we didn't want to invite them to come to a TV studio because that would kind of spoil the surprise. So instead, we decided to invite them for something else. You could be eating in a restaurant, you could be trying on new clothes in a shop, or you could think you're about to take the elevator to your hotel room when this happens. There's all your friends and family over there. A host saying, we've secretly filmed you for a month. We're very sorry about that. Which is the quite convenient name of the show. As you can see, this show is all about the things I love, creating completely fake alternative realities for people. For example, for Els, an eternally cheerful woman, mother of one. We knew Els could be very competitive, so that's why we decided to invent a sport called mind games, in which you put on a headband with sensors that measure your mental activity, and you mentally make a light go forward. This is a top view of the board, so the little red dot, you push forward with mental activity. Of course, it didn't work, it was just a piece of cloth, and our team was backstage controlling every single movement on the board. But we staged a training session with a couple of actors, and we invited Els to come along. We let her win a couple of times, and she was hooked. So, for a complete month, every week we would stage a training session with everyone pretending this thing was real, Els believing it was totally real. We created a fake site providing information about the sport. We created a fake footage of what was supposed to be the world champion at the time. And this was to get Els excited for the upcoming national championship of mind games. And she was selected for it, as was I. And then we hired 100 actors, briefed them about this crazy little sport, and for a complete afternoon, we staged a fake championship. Everyone in the room knew what was happening. Everyone in the room knew it wasn't real, except for Els. She played game after game, one game after game, defeated opponent after opponent, until eventually she was declared Belgian national champion mind games. Thanks. The show went on air in September 2016, and in September 2017, when we were secretly recording our second season, the news broke. We were nominated for an International Emmy Award in the category Best Non-Scripted Entertainment. So I went to New York for the very first time in my life. I suited up, was peeing in my pants of stress, ate some mediocre food, because food at the Emmys is really bad. We watched the show, and all of a sudden, this happened. We won the 2017 International Emmy Award for Best Non-Scripted Entertainment with an idea I had when I was a student. Thank you. I was thinking 1,000 things. What the fuck, and is this real, and what's happening, and how heavy is this thing? Will I fit this into my luggage? For anyone wondering, 3.1 kilograms, you can fit it in your luggage. So anyway, I went on stage, did the acceptance speech, thanked my mom, because that's what real men do, and then afterwards, I am pushed into this hallway. You've just been at one of the most glamorous positions you'll ever be in your life, and a couple of seconds later, you are pushed into a dirty hallway of underpaid hotel employees, dirty dishes, dirty trash cans. I thought attending a fake championship was surreal, but this was next level. For a moment I thought, have they faked this evening? Is this all real? Will in a moment this wall will go up and then will there be a host saying, sorry about that? Turns out it was real. We did win the Emmy Award. The show has since been sold to 3 countries, and last year, with our 2nd season, we won the Rose d'Or for Best Game Show. I faked my way into being the brother of Kevin De Bruyne, and I faked my way into being a city guide, and I have faked people's lives for a TV show. I think I like faking so much that I'm writing a book on it now called Fake It Till You Make It. It will be a guide to extreme success for extremely lazy people. So I will give tips on how to pretend to look very successful and very busy, while in fact you can be the most unsuccessful, lazy loser in the world. And it might just work, because people don't want to question everything they see. Sometimes you have to think about the reality you're in. Think about it. What if every event, every encounter in your life was actually all part of a game show you knew nothing about? What if all this isn't real, and you're the only one thinking it is real? What if in a moment, what if I hired a couple of actors to pretend this to be a TED event? What if I dressed this room to look exactly like a TED event, and I invited some actors and made them say smart things? What if in a moment this wall will go up and it will all be over? In case that happens, I just want to say sorry about that.